Welcome back. Let's talk about veterinary care, which is very important to help keep your dog healthy with a good quality of life. If you don't already have a vet in mind, ask your family and friends for a recommended vet in your area. Your dog will need vaccinations, possible emergency care, yearly checkups, or sterilization. Please make sure your dog is sterilized unless you're working with a reputable breeder to show and breed excellent quality dogs. People who just want their children to experience the joys of having a mother dog give birth in the house are adding to the backyard breeder problem and overpopulation in the animal shelters. This is why animal shelters will only let you adopt a dog that's already sterilized or make you sign a contract that you will get your dog sterilized. We only want to give our dogs the very best food, but with so many foods out there, which one do we choose? Many people decide to give their dog a cheap food they can find in Walmart or the grocery store. This cheap food is like eating McDonald's every day. You might do well in life on that food, or you might develop lots of health issues. If you're not sure which food to get, ask your reputable breeder or veterinarian who can recommend the right food for your dog. If you're adopting from a shelter, go to your nearest pet supply store and inquire. There are kibbles or raw diet to choose from. With my busy schedule, I can't do the raw diet, so I get my dogs the dehydrated raw diet. It's best not to feed your dog table scraps. Many of our foods can kill your dog, like garlic, avocado, onions, and chocolate. Feeding your dog table scraps can cause them to become overweight very quickly, causing more health issues. Not to mention, feeding your dog table scraps can cause behavioral problems like begging, barking, pawing, and jumping on people as the family sits at the table to eat. The quantity of food is written on the packaging as per the dog's target weight. If your dog is 15 pounds overweight, you don't feed the amount of the current weight. You have to feed for the weight he should be. Your vet or breeder can help you calculate the amount of food you should be feeding your dog daily. Training and socializing your dog at any age should be high on your priority list. Check with your breeder, friends, and family for recommended training centers for your dog. At some point, sending your dog to a training center for a few weeks and getting the dog back already trained was very popular. And although these places still exist, I don't recommend them. The dog is part of your family, and you want your dog to develop a strong bond with you, not with someone else. For most of the people who sent their dogs away for training, the dog came back and slowly regressed because training is a lifelong task. The dog keeps pushing, but if you don't know how to get the dog back on track, he'll just go back to the way he was before he was trained. This is why it's best that you do the training yourself with the help of a professional trainer. Only seek out a trainer that is highly recommended by people you trust. There are so many people out there claiming to be trainers but have no real idea what to do when a problem arises, which can result in your dog becoming aggressive. Some people watch videos on the internet, and although there's nothing wrong with that, there are some good videos out there. You need to be careful you don't accidentally confuse your dog because you didn't quite understand why the training video asked you to train your dog in a certain way. Or maybe the trainer didn't know what he was doing at all in the video. The best option is always to see a professional trainer in person with your dog. How would you prepare your home for the arrival of a puppy or a new dog? Really think about this. What age dog are you thinking of getting? What breed are you thinking about? If you answered a puppy, then your home needs to be puppy-proofed. Anything on the floor is free game, and that includes shoes. Walls, chairs, or just about anything with a corner that he can sink his teeth into will also look like fun to a puppy, which is why you'll need to set up a cage or confinement room. You'll be putting puppy in there when you can't physically follow him around the house and watch him. This includes when you'll be watching TV. A rambunctious puppy is music to your ears, but a quiet puppy is usually getting into trouble. Also, if you're not physically watching puppy, how will you see him ask to go pee-pee? If he's in a cage or very small confinement, he'll cry when he needs to go, which will make it so much easier for him to catch your attention when you're busy. Dogs in general like small confined spaces, and as long as you don't use it to punish them, they'll feel safe and calm in there. This is especially helpful for when you go on long trips with them, when there's a house full of loud guests, thunderstorms, and certain cases of anxiety. Those that believe that keeping a dog in a cage is cruel don't understand. It's a comfort for the dog to be confined. People with this belief are usually the ones that have the most difficulty with training, and often their dogs develop behavioral problems. I agree that keeping your dog confined to his cage for 10 hours or more each day with little exercise or using the cage as a punishment is cruel. But the cage is a training tool, just like the use of a flat buckle collar on your dog can cause damage to the dog's neck if not used properly. As your puppy ages, he'll prove more and more trustworthy in your house, and he'll need his cage less and less. In the future, most people have the cage available with the door always open, and the dog can go inside and out whenever he wants. You'll find that your dog probably go inside his cage when you notice something is bothering him, like loud noises, too many strangers in the house at once, children bothering him when he doesn't want to play, or when he's not feeling well. This helps you to know how your dog is feeling that day. It's a form of canine communication made easy for us humans to read. Next, make sure all areas of the house that you don't want your new puppy or dog to go into are properly blocked off. Have lots of toys available to play with and a comfy cushion on the floor in a quiet area, but also in an area where your new dog can still see you whatever you're doing. Take the time to look over your home and decide where you would place everything for when you first bring your new puppy or dog home. Let's take a look at your sheet again. I've added that I like big dogs. As a dog trainer who gives seminars, I'd like to use my dog as a demo dog, and a big dog would make it easier for everyone to see. As I thought about some of the activities I'd like to do, it would be better for me to get a medium-sized to big dog. Because I don't have young children, a big and active dog would not be a concern for me. I don't like spending time brushing my dog and realized that I prefer a dog without an undercoat, so I've chosen very short-haired dogs. After some research, I found that Rottweilers have a thick undercoat, and although they have lots of energy, they don't have the endurance for the activities I would like to do, so I've taken that breed off of my maybe list. Now that your sheet is complete, let's decode some of the possibilities together. For the section on your home, if you live in a house with a fenced yard, then your living space could accommodate any breed. If you live in a house without a fenced yard, then you might want to ask yourself if you want a breed that will stick close to his family and be easily trained, or if you're willing to go for lots of walks on leash instead of just letting the dog go outside to pee on his own. If you live in an apartment, you want to look for a small dog or a big dog with low energy. Keep in mind that all puppies are full of energy, but depending on the breed, they'll calm down around 2 years of age. An example of a big dog with low energy would be a Great Dane. They're very playful as puppies, but after 2 years old, they only require a walk every day and a good romp outside twice a week in general. But make sure you check with your landlord, because many apartments that allow dogs will only allow for small dogs. If you live in an apartment and are not a very active person, don't get a Jack Russell Terrier. Despite their small size, they're extremely active little dogs, and if they don't get their daily runs outside, they'll destroy your home and bark excessively. For the section on your family, if you're a home with only adults and young children rarely visit, then any breed would be okay. If you have young children, I would recommend a small breed or older dog. Great care will be needed to make sure the children don't abuse the dog. So don't allow your children to hug the dog, pull its hair, or hit it. If you're planning to have children, in how many years are you planning this? A puppy and a baby are not a good idea together, especially if you plan to be working. If you have young children visiting often, you may want to get a small dog or an older dog. If you have other animals like a cat, you might want to stay away from the terrier group, unless you're up for the challenge in training the dog not to chase your cat. Your lifestyle is just as important. If you're a very active person but have a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday, you'll want to stay away from extremely active breeds such as Huskies and Jack Russell Terriers. If you're normally a very inactive person but hope that by getting a dog it'll force you to be more active, then I'd recommend to look for a breed that's known to be calm for the most part or have a medium level of energy. Keep in mind that the younger the dog, the more active they are, and this is true for any breed. Join me next week for Breeders and Shelters.